Hey folks, it's Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request this time for Shawn. And this will be a long one because this is like a 2 hour and 50-minute movie. But he did give a generous amount for a donation, which I appreciate. So I'm not normally a guy that does these type of long commentaries and stuff. But if it's a reasonable amount, I will do it. And this is for the 1983 film Scarface, which I am a fan of. So let's get into it. I'll do my best. But it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. Thanks once again, Shawn, by the way. And for those who want to send any type of requests, topic, a reaction, a review, re-review, randomness out of the blues, wherever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. So, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Alright. Universal. I love this film. You know, people say, you don't like long movies. Yeah, if they're worth the shit. Shawshank Redemption, Scarface, Heat. If they're worth a spit. In May 1980, Fidel Castro opened the harbor at Mariel, Cuba. Apparent intention of letting some of those people join their relatives in the U.S. Within 72 hours, 3,000 U.S. boats were headed for Cuba. It became evident that Castro was forcing the boat owners to carry back with them not only their relatives, but the dregs of his jails. Of the 125,000 refugees that landed in Florida, an estimated 25,000 had criminal records. Love the Giorgio Moroder music as well. There's Fidel Castro. Fidel. Cast to the row. Because we got Brian De Palma directing, who did the original Carrie, The Untouchables, Casualties of War, which is a really good one, and starring Al Pacino, who was in And Justice for All, which is a great courtroom drama, Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico, of course the Godfather films. Loved him in Heat, Any Given Sunday. One of my favorite actors. Love Al Pacino. And this is my favorite performance of his. Yes, I know. What? Al Pacino is Cuban? Cuban? I still really enjoy his performance. I think it's a damn fun, invigorating, exciting performance. Steven Bauer. Michelle Pfeiffer. Very young Michelle Pfeiffer. Robert Loggia. Which I remember from films like Independence Day and Stones Over the Top, which also I think Giorgio Moroder had a hand in that, the score in that movie too, Over the Top. And I don't know how well this film did. It might have made a little bit of money, but I think if definitely was not beloved by critics. It seems like a film that grew more throughout the years. There's the old phrase of the rappers. Like every rapper had a poster of Scarface or a DVD of Scarface in their home. I could relate to it. There's even a featurette on the DVD and the Blu-ray about the rapper culture and why they like Scarface so much. Some could relate to him, some lived their life by him, some looked up to him and then also realized what he did wrong. Yeah, Oliver Stone doing the screenplay, who would go on to direct Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday, which is my favorite football movie, one of my favorite sports movies. I think this is where they get... It's interesting if you watch the TV version of this, it's just how they have to alter all the dialogue to change the cussing. It's pretty hilarious. I just Al Pacino's performance is just magnetic in this. I can't keep my eyes off him. I like the addition of the scar, show a little bit of history that he's had. The clothes, the haircut, it all fits. And it came out the year it was born, 1983, where you had Return of the Jedi, Blue Thunder, among other films. No, never been to jail. The other dressed up like a woman. What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man? How am I gonna get that? How am I gonna get a story like that eating pussy? Now I know there's the original 1930s movie, which I wasn't really big on. Just wasn't for me. So there's talks of a remake. I think, from what I read, like Pacino wanted to keep that period piece, but it'd be hard to do. I remember hearing the apparently at first like one of the choices for this role was Robert De Niro. I think Pacino just nailed the role. Don Montana, political prisoner from Cuba. The Jimmy Carter says, the Chico, you fuck with me, with fuck with the beast. Maybe it should be Tony Santana, man. My name's Tony Santana. You haven't seen me in a long time. If you don't remember me, I'm a cousin of Tony Montana. What's in the Blue Moon? Tony Santana used to be here on YouTube. Maybe he should be the one talking about this jamoke. About Miami. And the putos and the gringos. Salutation. I told you it was sanitarium, not sanitation. Sanitarium for nutcases, not sanitation as in garbage. So here they're in this refugee camp. Did a very just eclectic soundtrack, man. Great, this soundtrack fits perfectly. At the time, this made 44 million in North America, 65 million worldwide. No Oscar nominations. That means to me, Scarface is a damn good movie and no nominations. Golden Globe Award, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Original Score nominated. It's crazy just how popular this has become as part of the culture and got nothing in terms of that. So they have to kill this guy. If they do, they get green cars and get the hell out of here and get into Miami. Deal communist for fun. For green card. Do really nice. Hundreds of Cuban refugees began rioting this morning at a detention center situated under Interstate 95 in North Miami, burning tents and attacking immigration. Well, this would be the best time to do it in during this everything going fucking haywire. Look at all the shit you would have to. Okay, you gotta get the hose going. Okay, you fall down there. All the extras, no one goofing around, no one laughing, no one fucking around and ruining the shot. Have the camera pan and not cut. Make sure no one's falling, no one gets hurt, no one injures himself, no one just tries to be an asshole and fucks up the scene. Yep, here you go. And if there's a time to do it, this is the best time to do it in. Oh shit. Damn, look at the background. Look at all the stuff there. All the extras doing their part, the fires, everything. This guy has to realize he's shit out of luck here. There you go. With all the rioting and violence going on, this shouldn't be too surprising. And no one pays. People just ignored because they worry about their own shit, their own business, their own satisfaction. And got their green cards. Now their two buddies are Pepe Serna and Angel Salazar. Pepe Serna, he was in Vice Squad. He's in Red Dawn as one of the kids' fathers. But I remember him the most from The Rookie. He was Lieutenant Raymond, who would talk shit to Charlie Sheen and them. He was kind of the boss. It's not just a job, it's a fucking adventure. I remember him as Clint Eastwood and Charlie Sheen's boss in The Rookie. That's the guy that was like whooping and howling when he got the green card. Pepe Serna. See what else he was in. I know there's another one I was thinking of he was in. The Rookie's the one I remember him the most. But Out of Bounds, that's right. The film I reviewed not too long ago with Anthony Michael Hall. In a way, living the American dream. Working day by day. But Tony Montana once more. He wants the world, Chico, and everything in it. And he's able to succeed. I think that's what a lot of people look into. This is a guy that came from nothing, or came from violence, I should say. Violent background, violent culture, violent shenanigans going on. Is able to work himself up to tremendous success, but sadly self-destructed. Like what happens to a lot of people when they get famous. We got F. Murray Abraham here. Another good actor. Which he's done a lot of stuff. He won an Oscar for Amadeus. And like I said, he's done a lot of stuff. He was in Statutory Insurrection. He was in the film The Name of the Rose with Sean Connery. I'll teach you fucking monkey ass over this place. Don't fuck with me. I'm Don Montana. You fuck with me, you fuck with the best. Yeah. Now, Brian De Palma before this, like I say, he had done Terry, he done The Fury, Dressed to Kill, Blowout, John Travolta. Afterwards, he did Body Double. That's a pretty decent film. I do remember quite liking Body Double with Craig Wasson from Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. The Untouchables, Casualties of War, Mission Impossible, the first one. 2019, he did a film called Domino, which isn't the one I'm thinking of. Because there was another Domino film with Tony Scott had done. Stick your head up your asses faster than the rabbit gets fucked. 8.6 IMDb, so pretty high rating. Again, they don't want to settle for low. They want to go for broke. The American dream. One bloody bullet at a time. I know this got in trouble with the MPAA, got an X rating. They had to cut some stuff, including this bit with the chainsaw coming up. Although, to be honest, it wasn't like some gory, like cutting heads off or anything. Steven Bauer got his role without even auditioning. Wow. No, I do have the video game of this, Scarface The World Is Yours, which is like a sequel to this. And what I like about it is it starts with an alternate ending where you play the mansion shootout. But what if you control Tony Montana and you survive? And that's such a cool thing about it. Like, what if you play as Tony Montana and what if you survived? That's again, that's such a cool fucking idea that I'm like, damn, like it's just very cool to play. Uh oh, this ain't gonna end well. They're gonna get fucked over. Of course, coming up is the chainsaw in the shower bit, which it's not as violent as it seems. I think just because of the way it's edited and the soundtrack and the acting, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It makes it seem more violent than it really is. I mean, there's some violent scenes like the mansion shootout, but again, this chainsaw bit really isn't that violent. It sounds violent, but isn't that bloody or such. That shirt Tony wears just signifies and symbolizes Miami. I think of Miami and clothing, that shirt pops up in my head. Get the fucking stuff. I don't have the money either, man. I got the money close by too. Your stuff in our car? This guy paying attention to women. You're stalling, man. You're stalling. Yep, and the music rises up for that. Oh, there you go. Jesus Christ. Fuck do you want, pinche? These beaches. With these shotguns. And Tony just cool under pressure, man. Even with a gun in his face, is like he's still cool under pressure. Just stick your head up your ass, see if it fits. See, a film like this, it does work for me in the running time because each scene keeps it interest and intrigue to what is going on in this journey as encapsulation of a great soundtrack that really makes the film come alive. The score by Jojo Moroder, the songs that fit Miami like a glove, these set pieces that keep building up from the ride at the beginning to this bit here doesn't feel like the scene we've had before, but it still has a bit of intensity. Some well done camera work. The pans them on the ride with all the stuff going on. Even here, a little bit like the Hitchcock move of we as the audience are going towards this guy almost pleading, please, come on, realize what's going on. Realize what's happening. And it's kind of this, oh no, they're not realizing it. They're in deep shit. What's going to happen? And you have the quietness of the neighborhood and the catchy music of the radio to this intense horror chainsaw sound. And also it tells the audience, if they ask, well, how come no one hears the chainsaw? Well, we've shown outside no one hears it. Opposite to what is in the inside. I said, look how much you actually see in this. Not much. The sound of the chainsaw, the eyes, a little bit of blood, and that's it. You just see a little bit of blood. That's it. Again, it's the sound effects, it's the reaction they have, blood splatter. But yeah, I do have the video game. It was a fun video game. It's a bit like Grand Theft Auto. Only Tony will not. You cannot. You get penalized for hurting innocent people. Like, it's not like Grand Theft Auto. You just run people over. You're not supposed to do that. In Scarface. And pretty much just you survive the master at the beginning and you rebuild. About you rebuilding your life and your empire. I actually thought that'd be a cool sequel to see, but they do all these other fucking alternates to films. What ifs? There you go. Because the difference is that you would have to change literally the ending of the first one. I like the way the chainsaw spins. Oh shit. Tony Montana's like, fuck this. This like, fuck this. I'm gonna get the hell out of here with this chainsaw. There you go. Nice blood squibs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this guy with a chainsaw, you just use it to get the fuck out of Dodge, and Tony Montana not giving a shit, going, I'm gonna run to the middle of the street. I don't give a shit who sees me. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. The yayo. Gotta get the yayo. You ain't getting away, buddy. You ain't getting away. Ooh. Right then, prim and proper. Right in the head and you're fucking dead. Time to get the fuck out of Dodge. And in 1983, this is much more... You're able to do this much more. This is before high-tech surveillance, before intricacies of DNA testing, where you have CSI units to find every detail. Nowadays, you'd have to give a lot of reasons to why they couldn't be able to find these folks. But back in 83, it was just, nope, Cops were just late, and these guys got away in time. Of course, Tony Montana going to take you there himself. Number one, because he doesn't trust the guy. Wonder if he got set up by this guy. Number two, to go up the corporate drug ladder. Hi, Robert Loggia. Sadly, he's passed away. He passed away in 2015. Another guy that's been in a lot of stuff, Robert Loggia. I mean, he was in Psycho 2. He was in Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, which I'm a fan of. Let's see. Independence Day, he was the general in Independence Day. After, anytime you saw him, you're like, okay, that guy's a very capable actor. Big with Tom Hanks, he was in that movie. The Believers. It was a film people have forgotten about, but it's a Martin Sheen film dealing with voodoo. But a very good actor. I do, so many times, people go, well, Matt, you just don't like Jesus Lawn. You don't like lawn movies. Like I said at the beginning, I think there's a lot of times movies that are so long just because they want to be so long. Because the length somehow gives this epiphany of, we must be such a deep, landmark, epic movie because of our running time. Take us on a journey. The audience is yelping with glee. That's what the director's saying. I'm going to take them on this journey for 3 hours. Like, no, not every fucking film needs to be 3 hours long. You did not need a 2.5 hour slasher film. You didn't need a 3 hour movie like Beau was Afraid. Scream 6 did not need to be over 2 hours long. I think a lot of times movies have, well, what about the epics in the past? The epics in the past understood why they were epics to begin with. Nowadays, we have less talented directors, less talented writers, who think running time equals epic. No, this film, you actually see the way the set designs are and the way the soundtrack, the music, and score incorporate together. You have such a powerful, magnetic performance by Al Pacino that just became part of the culture. How many people have done Tony Montana impersonations? Scott Hall, may he rest in peace. Razor Ramon. That was pretty much a take on Tony Montana. Razor Ramon. With his little toothpick. He Chico. And of course, here we got Michelle Pfeiffer. Of course, it'll later be Catwoman in Batman Returns. My favorite Catwoman. Frank's wife, and later Tony Montana's wife, which it doesn't end well there. Say goodbye to the bad guy. You put your fucking fingers and laugh. Say goodnight to the bad guy. But yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm trying to think what was the last thing she was in. Oh, of course, Ant-Man movies as the. Of course, duh. I just saw her this year in that Ant-Man movie. But the original Wasp, Janet, Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, and she was in Ant-Man the Wasp. Oh yeah, Murdered on the Orient Express, the Kenneth Branagh film. She was in that. That awful Tim Burton film, Dark Shadows. Wolf for Jack Nicholson. Tequila Sunrise with Mel Gibson, Kurt Russell. Witches of Eastwood with Jack Nicholson. Rush with the yayo. Rush with the yayo. Rush with the yayo. Now, pretty much Tony Montana breaks all these rules that this guy mentions. He breaks all the rules. Sally that came to the Tony Montana here. He wants more than what he needs. Don't underestimate the other guy's greed. And he does. And he gets high on his own supply, which leads to him being discombobulated, killing his best friend, his sister ending her life, ruins his, relationships. I like how tough this scene has to be to set up, because you look at all the mirrors. So it's like, we gotta set up this scene, which is going to be a shootout, and you gotta make sure the camera is not being shown on any of the mirrors. Pretty tough to do, especially you have some shots that look straight on. Like the reflection, you see Robert Loggia's a reflection, Al Pacino back of his head, and you see the party in the back, but no camera. So the audience is not, they feel more within the scene. Very tough camera work. Well, I don't know if camera work's the way. I don't know how they did it, to be honest. And by the way, this film was definitely a bit of inspiration for Grand Theft Auto 3, because like a number of these songs are in that game. And actually, I do have it, I believe. Grand Theft Auto 3. It's really especially Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That pretty much is the Scarface game before there was a game. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 I do have. I haven't played this in forever. Forever. But this is one of those games that you want to take your time, because you can do anything, explore everywhere. Just hard to have that much time nowadays. It's a lot easier back then. Like that previous song, Rush, Rush, get the yo. Rush, Rush, get the yo. I think Deborah Harry from Blondie was a part of that song, Rush Rush. This song is She's on Fire. Performed by singer Amy Holland. Okay. You're from Baltimore. You're from Baltimore. What the fuck else does it matter? Yeah, look in the eye, I have been fucked in a year. Well, obviously she must have got blind or something because they get together. Now I don't know if the two of them really have the great chemistry with each other, or maybe just it's such a antagonistic relationship that it's hard to ever buy that they were. I just see that he likes her, but I never see that she likes him. He's soft. And what's coming from you? The world, Chico, and everything in it. And that's his determination that does get him success, but sadly is his downfall as well. It's that double-edged sword. Yeah, it makes him successful, but just overdoes it, oversteps it, and what made him successful also makes him destroy everything in his life. Just doesn't know how, when, where to stop. Dog, just great big pussy, just wait the fuck. That's another thing. This film has really fun, memorable dialogue. That also helps in the running time. You'd enjoy the beautiful scenery, the catchy soundtrack, the fun performances. That helps a lot. And I mean a lot. What the fuck was that? It's disgusting. And that's another thing. You see how playful these two guys are together, whether it be at the dishwashing place and this section, and you see that they care for each other. They're like brothers with each other. Only when his sister comes into play, and he's so overprotective of his sister that he just goes crazy. Uh-oh. Then we get the money, then you get the power. Then we get the power, then you get the woman. With the money, get with the power, get the women. I mean, with how some people get the women, he's actually not that far off from his thought process. He's not too far off, to be honest, sadly. What is that, like white tiger skin? What the fuck? Zebra? It's a Cadillac. But I guess you also get the idea that for Michelle, it's more about what she can get out of it in terms of money, items, success. She's not willing to be in a car unless it's a really nice car. That type of thing. You funny girl, Sully. This one will kill you last. A different movie. From what I read, apparently, like Pacino and Brian De Palma did not want Michelle Pfeiffer at first, but I guess after a while they began to like her and the choice of her. I was telling you to Frank, you didn't want to get in the fucking car, lady. You didn't want to get in the fucking car. You said, I'd rather be dead than go in a car. Now you're like, what you were doing to Frank? Well, make up your mind, lady. Dan, don't get high on your own supply. One of the big downfalls for this guy. So if I wasn't to help you fuck around, apparently this whole thing with the hat was ad lib. So her laugh is like genuine, but she stayed in character. Like Pacino putting on the hat was a bit ad lib. So that's a nice little moment between the two characters. Is this where he sees his mom? Yeah, I think this is where he sees his mom and sister, and the mom gets pissed. And the sister, he's very overprotective of his sister, which is another one of his downfalls, is that he doesn't trust her. This piece of music I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite pieces of music from the movie. And I know there's like a much like bigger version of this music on I forget where it is in the movie, but in this on the soundtrack, it is like one of my favorite pieces of music by Giorgio Moroder. And that's Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, who I remember from The Abyss, the James Cameron film. She was also Maid Marian, and Robin Hood Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. I would say like The Abyss and Robin Hood are ones I remember the most. She didn't really do a whole lot of films. Like looking as an extra in Teen of Comedy, this film, The Color of Money, where she was nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, Slam Dance, The January Man, The Abyss, Fools of Fortune, Class Action with Gene Hackman, Robin Hood, White Sands, Consenting Adults. White Sands, I think, has Willem Dafoe and Mickey Rourke. Consenting Adults with her and Kevin Kline. Three Wishes. That's the family film with Patrick Swayze. Two Bits. Film called Limbo. John Sayles film. My Life So Far in '99. I forgot she was in The Perfect Storm in 2000. She was someone trying to look for that ship, trying to warn them to turn back. That was in 2000. And from 2000 to now, she's only done 2 films. A short film, Standing Room Only, that was in a compilation, and something called Amok, that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I guess after that she would do like TV shows. 9 episodes of Without a Trace. 7 episodes of Grimm. Main role. I guess she had a return role in The Punisher show. Oh yeah, they did a TV show Limitless based on that 2011 film, and she was part of the cast. They only lasted like 1 season. Of course, the mom ain't buying it. Knows this is dirty money. That's why she wants him to get the fuck out. Well, my question is, how the hell did you guys get to America, but he was back in Cuba? How the hell did that all come about? Damn, that got ratcheted up quick. From soup to nuts fucking quickly. Shit. Give me the money, I'll take it. Take the money. I'll give me the money, Tony. I'll take the fucking money. Give the money to me. Hmm. This would cause like the Gina theme. This is where you see a bit of the clue to how overprotective he is, which will lead to the finale of the film. Where we've seen how friendly he is with Manny, with Steven Bauer, how cool they are with each other, laugh about the ton thing. And the one time he gets really cross, really angry, really surly is with him and the sister. You stay away from her. Just completely overprotective to a detriment. Just but by the end, I mean, they had married, so they made it official. Made a decent man out of him. His sister. Right then and there. You hear that music, it's almost like a little horror film vibe to the music. And it's like the one moment that... Maybe the first moment you see a little hitch in the armor of Tony Montana. Maybe not the first, but one of the early bits. That will definitely lead to his downfall. So this is Sosa, Paul Shinar, the Bolivian drug lord. He sadly passed away in 1989. Oh, he passed away of AIDS in 1989 as well. He was a voice in The Secret of Nim. He was in Raw Deal, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. He was in the original Man on Fire, the later deal remade with Denzel, directed by Tony Scott later on, but he was in the original Man on Fire. And quite a bit of TV work. He was in episodes of The Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, Dynasty, among others. Sosa has a pretty nice place. Out in the middle of nowhere. You fuck with me, man. Don't you fuck with me. I don't know what it means. What do you tell me? And Tony Montana's like, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, he'll say what's on his mind and won't give a fuck. As we come to find out, this is let us know that F. Murray Abraham here is a police informant and gets punished for it. The top 10 highest grossing films of '83 is 1. Return of the Jedi, 2. Terms of Endearment, 3. Flashdance, 4. Trading Places with Eddie Murphy, 5. War Games with Matthew Broderick, 6. Octopussy, James Bond film with Roger Moore, 7. Sudden Impact, Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry film, number 8. Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Live, this one directed by Sylvester Stallone, number 9. Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton, and number 10. Risky Business with Tom Cruise. Almost said Tom Hanks. Some of my favorite films of '83, Uncommon Valor is up there, Blue Thunder is up there, this definitely is up there. Uncommon Valor might be my favorite film of '83, but like I said, Scarface is very much up there. I really do like Blue Thunder with Roy Scheider. If you say so, buddy. Goodbye. Spoiler for those who haven't seen the film is only 40. God, that's crazy. This is a 40-year-old movie. Just came out the year I was born. 40-year-old movie. Wow. This movie is almost... Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. 40 years old. Half a century. This is almost half a century old. Just centuries, 100 years. Half a fucking century almost. Just saying out loud is so fucking weird. Half a century. Holy shit. That's the other thing. You just get memorable pieces like this. Like, how many times do you see a guy get hung from a fucking helicopter? And not many. All I have is my wood and my balls. I break them for no one. It's my balls and my word, and I break them. I love the dialogue, man. All I have is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for anyone. Here's the warning. That's the word of warning. Don't ever try to fuck me. Don't try to fuck with me. And, he agrees. He's more sensible. He's not as much on the drugs. Fuck the Diaz brothers. I bury the cockroaches. The fuck they ever done for us? And then a lot of critics didn't like this. They thought, Al Pacino was overacting. They used the term overacting. But to me, it's a committed, badass, energetic performance that just watch him alone makes it a magnetism to it. That's the opposite of boring. I laugh because I think the line is like sincerely either enjoyment of, in a weird way, you do root for this guy. He's a flawed guy, but in a weird way, you do root for this guy. Because even like the people he's killed, one guy was a general that murdered people. One guy was a crooked drug dealer that murdered his friend with a chainsaw. He's not really killed anybody innocent, which is a smart move because this is rise, and in a weird way, care about his rise. Because the people he's dealing with are fellow drug dealers, murderers, drug czars, all that type of stuff. Thing is, Robert Loggia's right. The way he says it, the guys who are low T, they last for a long time, but the guys who go gusto, like a bit old flash, they don't last long, and that is what happens with Tony Montana. He makes it big, didn't last long. And that's not just this, but all sorts of other attributes. Even like pieces of media. Look at TV shows. There are plenty of TV shows that go out in a big flash with gusto and what they call supernovas. They burn twice or thrice as bright, but they dissipate in more than half of the time that other shows. Like, you'll have a show that you never even heard of, but lasted for like 10 years. Go, what the fuck? What the fuck is this show? And it lasted for like 7 years or 8 years. But then I could bring up the A-Team that lasted for 5. Elf that lasted for 4. Even Firefly lasted for 1 season. Even movies. I mean, there are. Think of it, the Fast and Furious. The Fast and Furious, the first one made some money, and the second one made a bit of money, and some were blockbusters, but they weren't considered like the biggest films ever. And third one dissipated. The fourth one brought it back. It's not a good movie, and then the fifth one went out with Gus, and then that became a big supernova of a franchise. I mean, well, not even super. That became a huge culture of a franchise. And Fast and Furious didn't start off as this big supernova type of movie. Even the franchise didn't start off as like, it's kind of, people knew it, but then it got bigger and bigger. On the flip side, there were films that were the biggest thing ever. Like, you see. You see some real quick. How many films there are in this franchise. Like Transformers. Look how big the first Transformers was, 2007. And they did 5 of those. Bumblebee is 6. This new one is 7. So, even with like a... Not... I guess they're loosely related, Bumblebee and the new one, to the 5 Michael Bay films. But there's 7 of them. And even then, they're kind of, maybe in the background, this and that. On the flip side, look at Fast and Furious. There's been more Fast and Furious movies. 10 of them. Even this last one, there's not last one. There's going to be supposedly 2 more. That means there's going to be fucking 13 of them. Like, we've seen a little bit of these too, but, like, why would Michelle Pfeiffer really think of the idea of, yeah, maybe I would marry this guy and this and that? I mean, they had that little moment with the hat and him being adamant and wanting her, but there's a lot of me that wonders, like, why would Michelle Pfeiffer really want to be with Pacino's character? There's with that music and that close-up, and just the overprotective to a fiery nature of Tony, one of his kryptonite, so to speak, of Tony Montana. Big old stace of kryptonite. Now this guy here, who's the dirty cop, that's Harris Yulin. And then some may recognize him, he's the judge in Ghostbusters 2. It's the Scoleri brothers, I give him the chair. And then Edon's like, well, why don't you just tell him you don't believe in ghosts? He was also in Narrow Margin, very underrated film with Gene Hackman. He was in Clear and Present Danger with Harrison Ford. He was I think like a Secret Service agent in Rush Hour 2. But Ghostbusters 2 is what I remember him the most from. 85 years old. I don't know. How old is Al Pacino? Now that I think about it, how old is Al Pacino? Because then, this is 40. Like, this movie's 40 years old. Look that up real quick. Let's see. Let me see. He is 83 years old, Al Pacino. 83 years old. There's a recent kind of fun little video I saw with him and Pacino and Sylvester Stallone, where they're talking about the phone and Pacino's, how you do this on the phone, and Stallone is showing him how, and Pacino's asking Stallone, how come your hair's gray? Well, because I didn't want to keep painting my hair. Oh, Sly's saying I'd paint my hair. No, 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 I didn't say that. It's like a little cute little video between Pacino and Stallone. So pretty much this guy's like, hey, come work with the cops, and him trying to figure out what to do next, but can't get his mind out of this whole thing with the sister. One of the big downfalls for him. Was he in that same club and just marvel at how the ability to have all this stuff showcased in the background, not being able to show the camera with all the mirrors around. And you just see how Al Pacino's character just does not at all fear Robert Loggia's character. Like he said before, he thinks this guy is soft, he's weak, he gets scared, people just walk over him, he's easy for the taking. Just completely easy for the taking. I guess, when I think about it, like, there's a point as to why they're not so lovey-dovey, is because really she becomes, quote, a trophy wife. There's not a lot of passion behind it, not a lot of love behind it. It's more, hey, look at what I have, this trophy, and she just goes along with it, to be fair. There's that music again. That's what you would call a blind rage seeing red. That phrase, seeing red. Where you just don't have any rational thought. It's just boom, one goal, one notion, and there you go. Completely seeing red. And they add these little bits in there to, so that when it happens at the very end, it doesn't come out of the blue. Like, you see how adamant he tells Manny, don't look at her, and then here, just how he completely, that just beats him, but her as well. And she's doing drugs as well. There you go. And then that fiery rage that made him hit his own kid sister. I mean, yeah, I mean, oh, is that, oh my god, yeah, he's Sally. Richard Belzer? I think that is Richard Belzer. Who's, I mean, he's Sally, he's passed away. God, a lot of people in this film have passed away. Yeah, but I think that is like Richard Belzer. Which he did a lot of stuff. I mean, he was in a lot of. He's mostly known for being on like Homicide, Life on the Street, and Law and Order Special Victims Unit. He played this guy for like 20 some years. What was it? He passed away in 2023. He passed away this year. Let me see. Yeah, Homicide, Life on the Street from 93 to 99, 122 episodes. Law and Order, he was in a couple episodes, and then Law and Order Special Victims Unit from 1999 to 2016 for 325 episodes. Steven Bauer has a point. He knows how that guy you were with knows how to treat a woman to take you to a toilet to make out. Ah, here we go. Then like Robert Loggia's character is like, I'm tired of this guy screwing things up and getting a little overconfident. So we're gonna show him what he should and shouldn't do. Apparently, there's a 2003 comic book. Really, there's a 2003 comic book where it's also acted like a sequel to this movie? Huh. Never knew about that. I like the build up that Brian De Palma has with the camera work here. All those reflections of Al Pacino. There you go. Oh shit. Just didn't like the at. Oh shit, there you go. Right in the kneecaps. Hey, if it works, it works. Get to their knees and finish the job. Also great to have that glass or that stuff break in the background to give more of a violent illusion to the whole proceedings. That whole scene is just so well staged during the whole bit. And the way the mirrors reveal the killers, all that stuff. Some nice breasts there. Nowadays, you couldn't have this just be deemed sexist, even though there are people naked in bed, but and that's the difference between the two. Manny is perfectly content of where they're at right now, coasting along the line, while Tomatana has this power hungry, wanting more, wanting more, wanting more, want to be more of the top guy, more of the top guy, even more of the top guy. And now yeah, he pretty much knows that Robert Loggia and his buddies screwed him over, so now they want to answer with the payback. Jack. Things ain't going to end well. Here they go. Not much in terms of security here. But maybe some of the other people realize that maybe Robert Loggia's character is as weak as well. And I see a guy more hungry, more willing to take a leap of more balls, more cojones, more edge, more guy to be steered of. Just big old fat paranoid. Oh yeah, the plan to see whether he really did do it or not. That's why, yeah, that plan. You say we fucked up, he got away. If he says, what the fuck you talking about, then he's in the clear. If not, then he knows he's guilty. Pretty smart plan, honestly. Have a confirmation if he planned the hit or not. We fucked up, he got away. You know what a hassa is? Peter don't fly straight. May Stefan said never turn you, but you fucked him over. Time to pay the piper. Cockroach. Yeah, they said there was a comic book, but I don't know which comic that is. Let's see what it says here again. Let me look this up. Oh shit. This is a one-time comic book. It tells you it was made for the film's 20th anniversary as a pseudo-sequel. But it doesn't say what the comic is called. It just says 2003. Yeah, I don't think he cares about $10 million. Yeah, this ain't gonna end well. Yeah. Ain't gonna work out well. There you go. They say ain't gonna end well. Yeah, he's not gonna kill you. Gonna have someone else do it. There you go. See you later, buddy. Later, guy. There you go. Oh, there you go. Now he's going to kill a cop, too. Your ass is grass. He just did. There you go. Sorry I'm not saying much. It's just the nice background with the palm trees, the paintings, and all that other jazz. You want a job? Yeah, that makes the character even more interesting. Like, these two people fucked him over, but this guy didn't fuck him over. Because that guy didn't fuck him over, then, nah, I don't want to, I'm not going to kill you. Hey, but you want a job? Hey, this guy didn't fuck me over. You want to work for me? There you go. Frank's pretty much dead, buddy. Called dead. Pretty much the trophy wife. Like, she doesn't want to be with him, but I guess for her, it's like, what choice does she have? Probably still wants to continue this luxurious life. Maybe also out of fear, too. There you go. Seemingly the start of his empire. The world is yours. Love that shot with the blimp. Great music, though, too, by Giorgio Moroder. Like, this is going to be the start of his empire, the start of things rising up. The little guy making it to the palace, got the trophy wife, the connections, and now going to start making money and rise up. And now it's time to make some money. Is this the Push It to the Limit? Yep, the song Push It to the Limit. Got the chair, TM, Tony Montana. Now it's time to make some serious money. Now he's the new boss in town. Limit. Bat out of hell. Crash the gate. So this sister being happy again. So I guess her and her brother made up. Got her sister a job, cushy job. All the money they're making right into the bank. Like, how much fucking money is there? Big old mansions, swimming pools, everything in between. Got that security camera, which will be important at the end of the film. Building his empire during this montage. Back in the days where montage, you don't see them as often anymore because it's been so parodied. A lot of other TV shows, it was Movies like Team America, World Police, all that jazz. That now is looked at as silly or goofy or corny. But I love montages, if done well, of course. I mean, technically you had a montage in Creed 3 and the other Creed films, to be fair, but... Fucking Tigers. I think in the video game, when you're escaping the mansion, I think there's a part where you could press a button and a tiger comes up and kills one of the bad guys. I think that can happen. That, or maybe it does it on its own. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played that game. Limit, limit, limit. Push it to the limit. The only bad thing about the game is they got a decent impressionist of Al Pacino, but Al Pacino himself didn't want to come back and do it, which is too bad. I think Al Pacino approved of the guy who did it, but like I said, just too bad they didn't have Al Pacino himself doing it, because there's a lot of familiar people in that video game. Like I said, the... Sorry, I'm looking into the video game. Originally, developers had intended to do a straight adaptation of the film. However, they concluded that doing so presented two problems. Tony Montana dies at the end, and they felt players would not want to invest in developing a character that they knew was doomed from the beginning. That's actually a very interesting notion, but makes perfect sense to me. We didn't want to rehash the movie because we felt that to make a good game, there needs to be a compelling storyline with good characters to drive you through it. There's been a lot of games that have been made based on movies, and when they follow the exact storyline, you lose a little bit of interest if you know where things are going. A first story will allow us to have the freedom to do new and interesting things to keep the player motivated and engaged. I like this. The writer of that game, David McKenna, who wrote films American History X and Blow. Apparently, there's some people complaining, "Oh my God, you changed the end of the movie so that Tony Montana survives, and it undermines the moral aspect of the narrative." And the guy says, "Get a life. It's a fucking game." We had fun continuing it with and taking a great character, having him survive at the end and reclaim his empire. I thought that was a good way to continue on the story. I wanted to kick the game off with Tony Montana sitting in a tub, talking to a group of movie studio execs, saying, "What does the bad guy have to always fucking die at the end? Well, fuck you, you die." And then he pulls out a machine gun and blows them all away, and then he escapes from the mansion. But Vivendi Universal wouldn't do it, but the whole thing, it's a game, it's a joke. The people understand that I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here with Scarface or do any destructions in the movie. It's one of my favorites. It's just having fun with something. Let's see. Let's see, I'm trying to see if it... I mean, Al Pacino has a point to have all this security in. As you know, paranoid. Still have reason to be paranoid. Makes perfect sense to me. Steven Bauer, I think Steven Bauer. Steven Bauer's a bit on the wrong in that one. That's a pretty nice hot tub. Damn. Massive as hell. That guy knows him. So I'm just listening to the dialogue. But that's also the problem with Pacino's Tony Montana's. He gets too paranoid. He starts getting paranoid of his buddy now, Steven Bauer. Did you hit up your culo? Yeah, that is an argument that people have had, is that if you legalize these drugs and tax them, it would hurt the crime element, because if it's legal, it's like, fuck you, I don't need to pay that much money to you, because I could get it over here. Pillaging. Frank is dead, lady. I was always kidding. Do give me a kiss, man. Oh, fuck you, man. Put this thing together. Yeah. Not trusting anybody, then you're more and more high on a supply, you're more paranoid. You get to the top, there's only one place to go, and it's down. It's only one direction to go, and it's down. Sorry I wasn't saying that, I was just listening to the whole dialogue. Some of the voice acting in the okay, here it is. Ice-T, Oliver Platt, Robert Loggia, Michael Rooker, Jason Mewes, Anthony Anderson, Kevin Dillon, Richard Roundtree, Bam Margera, Tommy Lee, Elliot Gould. A guy named Andre had been handpicked by Al Pacino. He turned down the opportunity to lend his likeness to Godfather so he could appear instead in Scarface. It was explained the reason Pacino himself was not voicing Montana was that he simply did not sound like Tony Montana anymore. He just can't physically do that voice anymore. He tried, but it took a lot of physical effort to do Montana's voice. It's very heavily accented, very difficult for him to do. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? That's understandable then. I mean, if he tried and he said, I just can't do the voice anymore, then, I mean, I can't really complain about that. What more can you do? So there you go. Again, if you tried, you can't do anymore. Oh shit. Sting operation for money laundering. This is sort of the beginning of the end of the downfall of Tony Montana, starting with this Sting operation. Tax evasion. Got a point. You got on video. There's really nothing else you could do. So on the one hand, he could have taken the 5-year deal, served 3 years. Maybe that would have calmed him down, and maybe would have gone back and still able to survive. But Sally wasn't meant to be. This is where he's going to make the deal that is really going to seal his fate. Just for what I understand, it's you gotta kill this guy. I say because it's been a while since I've seen the film, and he's like, you know what? You gotta kill this guy, and I'll get you out with my government connections. But he doesn't because the guy's ready to blow this car up that has a wife and kids. Little 2 kids. And probably my favorite line reading from Pacino in this film. You die now, motherfucker! Just what this film is. Like, I'm not a fan of the Godfather films. But I do love this movie. It's because this film, in a way, is like The Godfather, but it's like a comic book flashy quality to it. Which is more my entertainment, my ideal, the type of movie. So there's Godfather people, there's Scarface people. I'm a Scarface person. Interesting that, Brian De Palma has these shots of just closing in on each of these people's faces one at a time during this whole speech. Each person being told their secrets by this activist, by this guy. That's our problem, or how you don't fix it. This guy, Alberto. Let's see if I can find who this actor is. Let's see. Little advertisement there, sorry. Just see, can I find the No, I can't find the actors. Can't find the actor's name. I'm sorry, I love his bit drunk. He's like, just about eating, drinking, fucking, sucking. I love him calling it rich fucking mummies. That's there you go. Women are so polluted. They will fuck your baby with her. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer's, you haven't really done anything to make the situation better either. Another prelude from Le Median. And that's the thing with like Tony Montana is that. Oh wait, this speech, I love this. Point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, when I make you, huh? Say, waiting for that line. There you go. Say goodnight to the bad guy. But I was saying, in a way, with Tony Montana's character, it's just his whole hunger, his whole character was this urge to rise up, that fight and claw to the top of the ladder. But once he get there, it's like, well, now what? There's no sense of glee or satisfaction. There's no love story because it's a trophy wife, and did you tell they barely get along with each other? You know, I mentioned before, well, there's no chemistry. Well, in a way, there's not supposed to be chemistry because it's a loveless affair. I mean, he likes her a bit. She seemed like she could barely tolerate him, but they had like a sort of a deal. So there's not some kind of love, endearing, my love will go on feel to keep him going. He's paranoid of everybody, including his best friend, Steven Bauer. He's now got this tax evasion and more than likely could serve years in jail until he does this. Or if he had succeeded, if he had not purposely messes up because he didn't want. And here's the ironic thing is that his moral choice becomes his death knell. Like, think about it. The one moment where he acts like a human being, one moment where he acts moral, one moment that he acts is what became the death of him. Where that would kill wife and kids, especially his kids, and stops them. I guess you say that he got in this situation in the first place. For him, there's not a lot of enjoyment in his life with more and more into drugs, more and more into other stuff, no wife anymore. Is that much of happiness? Like, in a way, it'd be kind of nice if it was, wow, he actually acted with a moral code, and that becomes his kind of salvation by doing the right thing one time in his life. But on the flip side, it's trying to have this line of maybe it's the Tony Montana is just one of those guys that live big or don't live at all. He was never meant for old age, and that was kind of that dinner scene before. Is this what we do? Sucking, fucking, eating. I'm gonna get fat, old. That baby's a guy that was never meant for that. He's a guy that was never meant for that life. Here we go. My favorite, probably my favorite scene in the movie. You die, motherfucker. I love the way he attacked that line, the headshot, the way the script worked. Did such a, just love that. Like I said, just the downfall of this, the more cocaine, more paranoia, less happiness. Just not knowing how to handle success, not knowing how to handle this point in his life. Maybe if he was clean of the drugs, maybe if he worked more with Manny and with security, maybe he could have survived the finale. Maybe he could have, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Would have helped. Would have fucking helped. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer got out at the right time. I love the red in this whole room. I think the red just fits perfectly. Of course, red, blood, of course, just the perfect color, but just a beautiful looking room. Which made sense because it's going to be your big finale. Make sure you're looking as great as possible. And it definitely makes a hell of a last stand. Here you go. Been a mistake with the cocaine. Make her more paranoid, more rage-fueled, everything in between. Again, just a gorgeous fucking set. I love the set design in this. Sorry I'm being silent. I'm just enjoying the whole spectacle of the acting and just the intensity. The intensity of everybody showcased. Just love it. And Sally, I mean, because I actually do grow, I think a lot of the audience grow to like Tony Montana despite his discrepancies and weaknesses, because he's got like charisma and you got to understand big portion of it. It just, Sally, it screws everything else up. Oh, the feature I was actually talking about is on YouTube. Def Jam presents Scarface Origins of a Hip Hop Classic. Yeah, people involved, yeah, like Scarface, who named himself from the movie, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, you got Snoop Dogg, and all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of rappers to relate to Tony Montana's his, I don't know, I'm not a fucking film philosopher, what I'm talking about. He's not realized, yep, he once in his cold-fueled rage. Even though they got married, they made it official. And if there's a guy for your sister, it should be this guy who you could trust 100%. But cold-fueled rage, Sally, once again, more and more of his fucking downfall. That's what I mean. The movie tries to has this line that caresses where, on one end, you feel bad root for him because he didn't want to kill innocent kids and innocent wife. On the flip side, you see this and go, he just he crossed the line, and in a way, you understand why he goes down at the end, crossing the line for that. And he crossed the line, can't come back from it. And you see Tony's stupor. One of the few times he has nothing to say about it. Nothing at all to say about it. Just complete, utter stupor. Maybe they realize it. It just all the time he's always talking, he's always talking, he's always talking. But this seems like the one time he has nothing to say. And just absolutely nothing to say. Once again, this complete blind stupor. I don't know why he brought her there in the first place. Sure, just left her there. I mean, there's thoughts of maybe your bench will be attacked. Why would you bring your sister there? It just, it would have been safer if she was left there. But I mean, it's to have the ending as it is, where you've seen the movie, you know how it ends. If not, go see it. And see, Pacino's kid are still not talking. And the irony of having all those security cameras and the whole point of the security, and he just doesn't care. Sitting there, he just doesn't care. From the paranoia, watching the cameras all the time, to now, he just, I think now he's ready to die. Now he just don't give a shit anymore. You see the cocaine on his shirt, so makes you wonder if he did cocaine before. I forget what they use for cocaine. I forget what it is. I've heard that they use some type of thing and it kind of burn piece of the inside of his nose. Just keeps doing that, which is the big mistake. Can't be doing that, man. Can't be doing that. Yeah, this is how it's going to end for him. And the big upon big mistake. Big old fucking mountain of cocaine. But yeah, I mean, the way I take it is that at this point, I mean, he says go to war, but to me, it's like a guy who has little care in the world of living, of dying, just little care from now on. I mean, I say that, but he's not gonna go down without a fight. I'll put it that way. They say he ain't gonna go down without a fight. I like them showcase that bit of regret as well. to have it verbalize. How the fuck did I do that, Manny? One of the few times he regrets something. Like, genuinely regrets. Just most of it is just gun-ho about it, but it's the one, like I said, the few times he's just absolutely regretful about what had happened. Oh shit. This ain't gonna work out. Yeah, this ain't gonna work out. I would go no. Oh shit. Yeah, Dr. Phil wouldn't fit shit in this situation. Yep, there you go. Now the war begins. Might be a short war, but again, he ain't going down without a fight. Oh shit. That's the guy that's going. And yeah, in the video game, you can actually turn around and shoot that guy before he shoots you. So technically, that guy with the sunglasses, he could be the first you kill in the video game. Sadly, his sins, his fuck ups have squandered everything in between. Sally screwed everything up. Man, that poor guy working for Tony the whole time and gets screwed over, doesn't even get the fucking door open. Nice camera work there. The showcase was going on. Then maybe apartment's like, you know what, I want to take as many of them down as I can. Sorry, I'm just mesmerized by the whole bit, man. Remember when I first saw this, it's like just the ups and downs, just say hello to my little friend. I remember there's a lot of these old YouTube videos where it's like Scarface versus someone. Very rough editing, but it's like Scarface shooting aliens or shooting transformers or shoot everything. they're again very low quality nowadays, but it's fun. Just going to town like a sumbitch. That co-fueled rage. Keep them going like the Energizer Bunny. It's like a gangster version of Commando or something. Just I love the camera like push in there, push in there. I don't know, something about it just makes this audience pulled more and more into the situation. Damn. Tesla just shot here. Saz don't get to kill a shot right here. There you go. Sally the downfall. Right there, the world is yours. Sally, you know, his paranoia, his bad decisions, everything screwed everything over and just got to his downfall. Too bad, so sad. Although, I mean, he went out with a bang. At least there's that. But his buddy Manny's dead. Sister's dead. He's dead. Michelle Pfeiffer is the smartest one. She's out there alive. And the smartest one. So there you go. And that Scarface still holds up well. Sorry that there was a lot of silent parts of me not saying anything because I was just getting invested in the movie again. Just getting invested in watching the great cast. The fun, charismatic, magnetic performance by Al Pacino and all that stuff, man. It just, God, so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch and enjoy. Like I said, just love the way Al Pacino just attacked that role. Like I said, just so much fun, man. I did great cast. Steven Bauer, Robert Loggia, everybody between. Great soundtrack. Great soundtrack that really sold the film. Its 80s nature, being in Miami. A lot of colorful, fun, memorable dialogue. Some nice pieces of action, well directed by Brian De Palma, who definitely knew how to move that camera to not make it static, still, and quite the opposite of boring. And this is a movie that, yes, it's 3 hours long, but you know what? Did make me feel like, oh my god, man, when is this over? Oh my god, when is it going to be over? When's it going to be done? So, that's the making of a movie that's worth a crap in terms of you want to have a movie be lengthy. This is a film that did that fairly well. That's a film that did it. And pretty good. At the end of the day, pretty damn good. Still a classic. Still love the film. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, Shawn. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.